excited should Browns fans be about his performance, Dan?
They should be extremely excited about his performance. This is the #1 pick in the draft, showing you why in a very brief snippet. Again, preseason game. We don't know who's game planning for what, et cetera. Showing you a very brief snippet of why the team thought he was worth that pick. Awareness on the field, keeping his eyes downfield when he moved around and got outside the pocket. I mean, these are important things that are, more important than did he throw a touchdown pass. And, I think that's what was so much fun, seeing the young man command things in a way that you would hope a #1 overall quarterback would be able to do.
I mean, he looked fantastic.
He looked fantastic.
Last night.
Well, I think the other piece of it, though, you talked about the game planning. That's what's awesome about the preseasons. You get to see dudes just go out there and play, because it's not necessarily will we scheme them up, will we give you the best opportunity to make plays. A lot of times it's based off of the individual. And I remember we were trying to put Antonio Brown on practice squad his rookie year because we were going to have Emmanuel Sanders on the team, and we throw him a slant and he goes 65 yards, and Coach Tomlin immediately turns around and goes, well, I guess we can't put him on practice squad now. And because that's one of those situations where it's just about skill, what type of talent do you have? And we saw Baker Mayfield's skill last night amongst his peers in the NFL, and just something that wasn't about scheme, just about playing.
We actually saw a lot of skill in that game as we stay with the Browns and Giants. And Giants' second overall pick, Saquon Barkley, did not take long to make an impression, ripping off a 39-yard run on the opening play from scrimmage. After that, he was limited to 4 yards on 4 carries, but that was, that first run. Just let that marinate. Ryan, how excited should the Giants be about Saquon based on last night?
I mean, you should be very excited. I think that's why you go and get him #2 when you might have needed a quarterback of the future. But Saquon Barkley is a right-now type of player. When you have guys like Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, guys like Todd Gurley who get drafted early and produce for those teams, and you see Saquon, you're excited about it, and you love that it was the first carry, his first opportunity in Giant Stadium, and you got to see that.
Do the Giants, Dan, do they look at this as completely changing who they are on offense now because of somebody like this?
Yes, that's the idea. That's their hope, right? So it's two different approaches. Cleveland's coming off 1-15, 0-16, and they know they have some time to build it. So Tyrod Taylor, who also, by the way, looked good in that game for the Browns. So it's not as if Baker is going to take his job right away. But the Giants decided #2 pick. Well, 3-13 last year, but we feel like we were better than that. So if we can fix the run game, which we haven't had in forever, speaking as the Giants. Saquon Barkley's a guy who can help right away. And obviously it's crazy he goes 39 yards on his first preseason carry. That only feeds into the hype,
right,
the excitement,
absolutely.
which is great. But that's part of it too. If you're running the Giants, you want people to be excited about your team after a lousy 3-13 year where you fired the coach and the GM with a month to go in the season. Right. Saquon Barkley is going to get Giants fans fired up, and justifiably so. He's going to be a very good player for them. Now, what else do we see from the Giants last night? Did the offensive line get pushed around a little bit by Cleveland? Yeah, and in a preseason game, you do worry about that because those are physical one-on-one matchups, and if you're not winning those, that can be a bad sign. But obviously no Odell Beckham in that game. That'll change things too. But the Giants believe that they can turn it around quickly and win again while Eli Manning is still in this sort of late career window.
Right. And in our early meeting, Ryan was kind of talking about the jump cut and the cutback and all these things. So I think also the nature of the run has people excited.
It's just so impressive to kind of look like he was going to bounce it outside.
Barry Sanders, right? Isn't that what y'all said?
I know. We said somebody on the staff.
We had a producer.
Isn't that what you said?
Who's the comparison, Ryan?
That jump cut is LaDainian Tomlinson to me, who is also a Hall of Famer.
It's still a Hall of Famer. So what are you so upset about? Okay.
Because he's not.
You're not upset about comparing him to a Hall of Famer.
The fact that you just be like, hey, it's Barry Sanders, like it was the rundown. I just felt like it was disrespectful. And
you're still mad? It was 2 hours ago.
He's so fired up.
How about Le'Veon?
One run,
How about Le'Veon with the patience, right? This is a guy, Le'Veon, when Le'Veon Bell runs, he stops, right? And it's almost like it slows down.
The Le'Veon thing's unlike anything.
That was, you saw a little flash of that on that run, right? Not that, that's running backs want to be able to do that.
Absolutely. I think that's why the run is beautiful. Because they were actually missed blocks.
Right. I think staying inside and cutting it back up is where everybody always just like, I'll just get outside, especially preseason game. I think that's the thing that was so exciting.
I thought that kid was going to run the whole way for a touchdown on his first play, and I got to get off Twitter for the night. Because at the draft, I was saying they got to get a quarterback. They're going to want to replace Eli in a couple of years. They're going to be sorry they didn't do it. So everybody translates that as, oh, Dan doesn't think
still think you're
Saquon's going to
right.
be any good.
No,
I think I'm right, too.
I think you're
but that
still
doesn't
right.
mean Saquon's not going to be good.
No.
I think he is.
I
everything to do
mean,
with
the
the position.
pressure is already high on him, but the first carry of his first
That was
NFL game. I mean, is the pressure too much? I mean, you could argue that he kind of has quarterback pressure on him.
Yeah, you could. And obviously, you know, it's going to be dependent on a lot of things. If the passing game doesn't come together, if Eli really is in decline, then that's going to be very hard for the Giants to overcome. If the offensive line isn't fixed, it's been a problem for the Giants for years. So there is a lot of pressure on him, but he seems like the kind of young man who can handle it. I mean, there's nothing. I talked to somebody in the Giants building a few weeks ago, and they said he's almost too good to be true. Like there's been nothing wrong. It's been everything they've wanted him to be. So, you know, you're going to use the number 2 pick on somebody. You know, that's you could do worse than someone who has so few, negatives.